What's up, guys? Welcome back to Coffee and Kareem. This episode has been brought to you by kjovian.com. If you guys want to check out our merch, we have mugs, shirts, and all kinds of stuff. It'll be awesome if you could check it out. And if you are a viewer or listener of this show, you can get a discount. Be sure to check out the YouTube video and go to the description below to find a discount code to get yourself a nice discount on our merch. Today, I am with Bilal Valvala.
No.
No?
Vilava.
Bilal Valava, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I suck with names, man. So
Yeah, it's confusing.
I want everyone to know who you are
Mhm.
because, from my take, you are a very talented young guy.
Thank you.
I feel like, this is my opinion. You still have the heart and soul of hip hop in you, and I've seen a lot of your work. And I wanted to give you a platform today to talk about it, to
Yeah,
let people
definitely.
know about it. And maybe a little, you might give us a little performance at the end. I don't know. It's up to you if you want. Little
Yeah,
something,
just,
little something.
Give me a beat, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And with that said, introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
I am Bilal Valaviva, however Kareem said it.
I'm sorry,
No.
man.
My artist name is Bilal V. You can call me, some people say Bilal, some people say Bilal. My family says Bilal.
Yeah.
It's a Muslim name,
Mhm.
so some people get confused, but there's a couple of famous people with that name too. I'm from Queens, New York, born and raised, lived in Florida for a little bit, picked up some dance moves over there, some rhythm, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So how'd you start into music? Like, what got you to be interested in music in the first place?
Well, in what I got interested into music from definitely inspirations like a couple of artists that I love in hip hop, Nas, singers like Mary J. Blige, all these people, they influenced me to even want to do that, to get into that, into this, music industries type stuff. So, yeah.
So how was your childhood? Like how did music play into your childhood?
Well, growing up, my mother loves R&B. My father loves hip hop. My uncles and aunts, they all love hip hop and R&B. So that's really what put me on into just the whole sound of it. And yeah, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with singing, with rapping, all that stuff. And eventually, when I turned 20, I think it was when I was 21. That's when I started making music. Um, yeah, I started at 21 and I got my own equipment, because I wanted to be able to get beats and make my own instrumentals and stuff, because coming out, people who make beats, producers and all that, they don't trust you to give you, just to give you a beat. You got to pay for it,
Yeah.
So when I first started, I'm like, let me get my own little keyboard, my own microphone, my whole little system, so I can learn to do it by myself, which I did. I'm still learning, but right now that's how I get a lot of my music out, is I make it myself, everything.
So you make your own music, and that's how you've been really putting your music out there. You don't
Yeah.
use any sampling or third
No,
party.
I use sampling.
Okay.
Mostly sample. I sample a lot of, like, there's actually, it's funny, there's a site called whosampled.com, and on that site it tells you what the artist that's been sampled, the song that's been sampled,
Mhm.
by who, when. So what I try to do is I try not to use any songs that have been sampled. So I always go to whosampled.com and try to check what's been used, because I don't like using what's so popular. Like, there's a couple of, like, beat breaks and stuff that's been used millions of times. That,
Mhm.
like, there's a lot of James Brown ones that's been used thousands of times. I don't like, really, I try to be unique
Yeah.
with it, and kind of create my own little way in the music industry.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so growing up, I find this really interesting. You're mixed.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know how that was for you, being mixed, growing up mixed and
Yeah. Well,
faith-wise and all that.
I was born and raised Muslim. I was with my mother. I grew up with my mother, single mother, just me and her, no brothers or sisters, till I was about, like, 19. She got remarried and she moved off to Memphis. She asked me if I wanted to come with her. I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'll stay in NYC. try to work things out here. But growing up, yeah, it was, I try to do my part as far as being Muslim. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I do the most that I can. But of course, we can always do more as Muslims or whatever. And yeah, I'm Algerian. That's where the Muslim part comes in. That's where my mother's from. She's from Algiers. And yeah, she raised me on her own. I saw family, but the thing was, I lived in Queens from when I was born to when I was 8 years old. Then I moved to Florida, and I lived in Florida for 8 years. And in Queens, that's where all my family is, my father's side, my mother's side. But we went to Florida, just me and her. So it was down there really where I fell in love with music. Like around that time is when like the South was taking over, like Lil Jon and Yin Yang Twins, all these people. So that's how that came into it. But yeah, as far as my culture, I was raised Muslim. I don't really like Arabic food too much.
Really?
No, I don't really like it. I think specifically Algerian food. I don't really like couscous and all that.
Oh yeah, that's like healthy stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people love that stuff.
Yeah.
Even people that aren't like Muslim or Algerian, they love couscous and just the food. But I can't stand it. Me, that's where I got in touch with my Spanish side, because my mother, although she's Algerian, she was raised in Queens, so she knows how to speak Spanish, English, Arabic,
Nice.
French. So she taught me, she kind of taught me as far as like, the Spanish foods. She taught me how to dance. She taught me to do a lot of my other side, my Latino side. And yeah, she taught me to do all that stuff. But I would see my father at times too. I would visit him when I lived in Florida, in Queens. And yeah, and then I would be with my family there. And yeah, the mix, as far as being mixed, I'm kind of lost right now.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So basically, like you growing up mixed, you didn't have any. You saw it as something that was really, that was really pushing you forward. It wasn't holding you back.
No,
right?
no, yeah, it was definitely pushing me
That's
forward.
good.
I always love to rep where I'm from. I'm Algerian and Ecuadorian. I feel like I wasn't clear with that. I'm Ecuadorian. My father's Ecuadorian, and yeah, I was always in touch with my culture and both sides of the parts. Obviously, I look more Latino than anything.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Arabs look Latinos anyway.
Yeah, they do, but I look really like I look, Incan, straight from the Native Americans, or wherever Ecuadorians, the tribes are over there. But
yeah, but I mean, it's awesome. I think it's something that's really cool, and I'm glad that we touched upon it. And it's awesome that we're seeing people of like you who are mixed and jumping into this.
Yeah, growing up,
world,
it was weird, because people see me, this like little Spanish kid, and then they'll be like, "What's his name?" Bilal. Who's that? Wait, that's him right there, Bilal, the little fathead kid. With, it was funny. It was funny, and then they find out I was Muslim, especially growing up in Florida, where it's not as diverse as New York. So, so people would be like, "Algeria, where the hell is that? Ecuador, where the hell is that?"
Do you feel like being Muslim kind of like put a maybe slowed down the fact that you wanted to be an artist? Because I've noticed, like, sometimes, especially with rappers or singers or anybody that's trying to jump into the entertainment world, it's kind of hard because you have a lot of people who are criticizing.
I think about that all the time. Honestly, I don't try to get too much into my religion, because obviously, as an Algerian or an Ecuadorian, people who are Algerian and Ecuadorian will gravitate towards me if, inshallah, I do make it like to where I want to be one day. Yeah. They'll gravitate towards me, and then they'll try to associate me with, they will associate me with being Muslim, and, hopefully I don't want that to hold me down in any way. It's rough.
Yeah.
You have it rough.
Yeah, I do.
You know how it is.
You see, and I appreciate you always standing up for me. I saw your comments, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
People, it's just a weird discussion.
It is.
It's very detailed, and
yeah, it is, and I just hope that you don't have to go through that. But if you do, just know that I don't want it to slow you down, because I really do believe you have an amazing talent, and I'm not just saying this to kiss up to you or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do truly mean that. Me and my brother talk about it a lot. Like, yo, this kid is really talented. he's gonna go places.
Thank
So
you, man.
keep it up, man, because it's for all of us, not just for you, man. You're doing something huge for all of us,
Yeah.
you know. So, speaking of that, like, what are some projects you're working on right now?
Right now I'm working on a project. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm still thinking of a name, but it's pretty much done. Waiting on a couple of features. I have to hit the studio and just record it out. But the beats are all laid out because I told you, like, I make the beats. I do a lot of the sampling. So yeah, that's all finished. Hopefully by this month, this project will be released. I still don't have a name for it, like I said, but definitely think of one soon.
All right, cool. Have you ever performed live on stage?
Yeah, I have. I try to perform whenever I can, wherever I can fit into my schedule. I just performed last week in Brooklyn at this place called Sunnyvale. It was with one of my friends from the neighborhood. His name is Air, and he's kind of doing his own thing in the music industry too. And yeah, I had a couple of people come out there. It was fun. But yeah, I performed.
Okay. What's the feeling that you get when you perform? Because that's huge. It's not easy. Not a lot of people could do that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm new into because I've been making music, but I'm mostly into like getting the music out. I need to get the music out, and then I'll start performing it. So it's kind of a struggle, especially when you're here in New York, to try to work and then try to do your music thing. So recently I've been trying to perform a lot more and getting to bigger stages and bigger live events. But as far as the feeling, I still get nervous. I get nervous, but when you're trying to do these live events, it's always good to have family, friends, and when you're there, you get more comfortable. That's all you got to think about, really. Is like, oh, I got my friends here, I got my people here, but sometimes not people can't make it,
Yeah.
and that's when it's the most nerve wracking. It's like, oh man, these people might hate me. They might, oh, you suck, like in the Apollo, they might take a big K now and pull me off the stage. That's what I think about. But yeah, it's still nerve wracking up until the point, and then after, it's like, it feels great. It's like the best feeling in the world. You feel like you've conquered
That's awesome, man. And
the whole
and
world.
it's like you said, it's not really easy to perform,
Mhm.
let alone having to rap or sing on stage,
Yeah.
because out of any audience, I think that audience, especially when it comes to music
Oh,
or rap,
yeah.
they are the roughest.
They're the roughest.
They're the roughest. They're the toughest
Definitely.
crowd, man. You, like, within the first 30 seconds, you
Mhm.
gotta be killing it, or they're not
Yep.
having it.
Especially in the type of music that I make. I make very, like, kind of like a 90s style of hip hop. I try to like fuse it with like modern times type of sound, like with the trap and stuff, but mostly my background where I love to rap from is old school, really like rhymey hibbity hop stuff, like,
Yeah.
and that's not a big thing today. It's underground is pretty big, so underground people will love to see that, but the big thing is trap. So if they see me coming up on stage after they just had like 5 trap artists, then they'll look at me like it's weird,
Yeah,
which is
but
crazy.
yeah, that is true, but it does stand out though. I would
It does
say
stand
that.
out, and if
It
you're
stands
good,
out.
if you're good, then things will go good.
Yeah, it
It
sticks.
definitely does stand out. Like the show I just did recently, there's a lot of like trap artists going like, yeah, I'm the man, that, and then I come there and I'm like, and everyone's like listening,
Yeah,
like wow, this kid is good. He's not bad. Yeah.
that's awesome. What made you like jump into the '90s style? Because I think that's like a really good time
Yeah, of
for hip
course.
hop.
90s was good for almost like every genre was like the best. The pop,
Yeah.
the hip hop, even rock. Like, I mean, there's arguably like people say the 70s or the 80s or whatever, but 90s was a great time. I mainly got in like that's my style because that's what I grew up listening to. The first hip hop song I heard was Big Papa by B.I.G. I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Yeah.
So that's what I gravitate towards. So I love it. I hear it. I hear the rhyme schemes, the double entendres. It just amazes me. It's poetry. So yeah, the 90s stuff is the real. That's when it really got poetic. Because even in the 80s, with like Run DMC, it was very like ABC type of style. Where people are like I don't know if you ever seen
1, 2, 3.
yeah, you ever seen Donald Childish Gambino when he was doing his comedy special? He was like, I went to the store to get a hat,
Yeah.
and then I got the hat and I put it on. It was like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it really got poetic in the 90s, and
Yeah,
A
because it
lot
was
of.
just starting out, and then the lyrics started getting deeper and deeper. You know,
Exactly.
it's true. I mean, it's interesting to see where it is going to be taken in the future. Like, what are your thoughts about that? Like hip hop, and some people say hip hop died, bro, a long time ago.
Yeah, my favorite artist Nas said that hip hop is dead. They said that 15 years ago, and I feel to me it just feels like it's gotten worse. Like Charlemagne, the guy says from Breakfast Club. He said it's microwave music. You know, it's in there for like 5 seconds, and then that's it. It's just quick stuff just to put it out there. You know, it's not a home cooked Thanksgiving meal. It's just microwave music. And honestly,
That has to do with our
I
generation.
can't. Yeah, it does. It does. I can't wish for it to be that way, like how it was in the '90s, or even like because you know the kids are taking over. So the kids, they want to do whatever they want. They want to get into the trap stuff and do all this. So
Yeah, they consume.
it's up to them. I have no say in that.
Exactly.
I can do what I do. Hopefully, I can get some buzz off of what I do, and
That's true. That's very true. It's up
But
to the kids, man,
exactly.
because they decide. The sad thing is, though, is that they consume things at such small, like
everything's so fast now.
everything's so fast. That's why it's like we want like what's his name, Triple X, Tentacion. Like he would release songs without like 1 minute.
I was just gonna say that him,
Yeah.
6ix9ine, all these guys are doing songs that are like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I like some of them. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I love some of them. Some of them are really good, like especially when you're in the club and you're like
Yeah.
turning up or whatever. Yeah, some of them are good, but then they're like 2 minutes, and I'm like, I can't. The lowest I'll make a song, the least amount of time would be 3 minutes. That's
Mhm.
what I feel like is a good cutoff time. But yeah, it's really quick. It's
Do you feel it's hard to kind of like to keep up with that? Do you feel like you have to adapt to how music is now?
well, like I said, I do love the '90s stuff, but I do try to modernize it a little bit and mix it, and not by force, because I do like some of the stuff that's coming out today, and yeah, I try to make my own sound. Really, I try to put some R&B into it, some singing, some rapping, some trap stuff. You know, just try to really be unique with it, because there's only so much you can do that people have done already. You know, yeah. As far as keeping up, that's that's not my problem. I'm just gonna do what I can do. Really.
That's good. That's good. I mean, it's just interesting to see where you take it, and where it goes because
If you worry about it too much, it'll kill you.
exactly, exactly.
That can go for anything. That can go
Yeah.
for being a YouTuber. Like, oh, what's the trend now? Be for an artist. It can be for, I don't know, a radio host, whatever. Anybody who's into like the entertainment and movies and whatever you do, people are gonna be like, oh, if you kill yourself about what the trend is gonna be, you're gonna fall into like depression.
Yeah.
Really, because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
They used to say back then the trends would last 3 months. Now it just lasts 3 minutes. So it's like the trends are like going. They're always changing so quick. It's hard to keep up, man.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of YouTubers are burning out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, it's
You gotta
crazy.
adapt. You gotta adapt if you want to survive, but then you have to be true to yourself at the same time.
What's the most memorable performance you've ever had?
The most memorable,
Yeah.
probably not a good one. It was probably a bad one. Yeah, I was at Queens College. You went to Queens College, right?
Yeah.
You graduated from there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was that's where I used to perform like a lot. Like I did like 3 performances there. It was my second one at Queens College. The second time I was there, and I was performing my song, and like, it was like, it's like, you ever seen that SpongeBob episode when the guy in the back is like, "Oh brother, this guy stinks." It was like everybody was glued to me, and no one was like rocking with me. It was so awkward. I was just there like, I was doing one of my songs called Honey. I was like, "Honey," and then like people were just there like, "All right, what else are you gonna do? You gonna dance?" I'm like, do you know what you came to? You came to watch people perform. Like, clap,
Yeah.
do something. I don't know. Yeah, that was bad.
I mean,
That was worst memorable. Best memorable was probably my most recent performance. I had a lot of my friends some family come out. A lot of people from my neighborhood came out and watched me, and that was a great performance.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, who do you really aspire to be like? Who's your favorite artist? I know Nas is one of them, but
Yeah.
who else?
Well, I don't aspire to be like Nas. Honestly, I want to be like myself.
Mhm.
But as
But,
far
like,
as who I look up to the
Yeah.
most, and the guy like influenced me the most, was definitely Nas. Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
I have like a top 5 artist. Jay-Z. I love Big Pun. He reps for the Latinos, you know.
What about Talib Kweli?
I like Talib Kweli. I'm not a huge fan though because that's kind of like that's a little before me. Like about what like I mean so is Lauryn Hill and Nas, but that's more underground. Like I like the big shiny. I love Biggie. Like I love the mainstream old school hip hop.
Okay.
I wasn't too big in like to the underground, but I love Talib Kweli.
And what about
Mos Def, yeah.
Mos Def? I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really good. I think they popularized rap with like a powerful message.
Yeah.
Like they were really really pushing that. They were the ones who started it.
yeah, they were really on that conscious tip, and yeah, they pushed it. They helped push it. But there was a couple artists before them too, like Nas. Nas was really pushing the consciousness as far as like look around, like what's going on in the world. Like there's people suffering, there's people doing, you know, bad things are happening. But yeah, definitely, I love them. I did one of the first instrumentals I rapped over was I think the song's called Respiration. It's with Common. I don't know. It was one of those beats. But yeah, I love Mos Def and Talib Kweli.
What do you think of Nas's new album?
The most recent one.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
That's pretty dope.
I loved it, but then I kind of didn't like it because some of it was like Kanye was too much on it. Because every song I heard, not even like his voice, but his beats, like it was Kanye's sound. It was his album with Nas's lyrics on it, really. And I liked it. Some of them were like really cool boom bap stuff. And yeah, I really liked it. He actually went to Queensbridge, and he performed. He had like Swiss Beats walking around. Kim Kardashian. I don't know if you remember that. He was in Queensbridge. It was like a couple months back, and yeah, he had like a little. It was a listening party for his thing, but it was outdoors. It was during the summer, and there was Kim Kardashian walking around. Kanye was walking around. Swiss Beats, Pusha T, like crazy famous people were there. I tried to get in, I couldn't get in though. I got a couple of my friends got in. They took some crazy pictures and stuff.
Nice. But
yeah, that was dope. That was like 10 minutes away from my house, and it was cool seeing them, all of them in Queens. You know where I'm from.
That is dope, man. I mean, Queens like birthed a lot of rappers and a lot of performers,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah, can you name a few?
I can name almost all of them.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let's do it recently. Action Bronson, you know, like we'll do the most famous people.
He was
Action
from Queens?
Bronson. Yeah, he's from Flushing.
What?
I
didn't know that.
Really? He reps his. I guess you don't really listen to his music that much.
Yeah, I just watched his food show.
The F That's Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from Queens. He reps it in like all his songs.
That's awesome.
He's from Flushing. Action Bronson, Nicki Minaj, Run DMC, Nas, the Beat Nuts. Hold on, I know there's a lot more. Kid and Play, they're from Queens. They're from Corona. Salt and Pepper.
Wow.
It goes on. That's
pretty dope.
The most like LL Cool J. You know, a lot of really cool people are from Queens. A lot of them are from Jamaica, but then there's some from like our side, like Western Queens. Like like the Beatnuts, like Nas. Yeah, there's hundreds. I think like the most amount of rappers from a certain area are probably from Queens.
That says something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I used to think it was Brooklyn and Bronx.
Brooklyn, I think there's a big like debate who has the better rappers, Brooklyn or Queens, and I love Queens, but like, you know, Brooklyn has Biggie, they have Jay-Z, they have Busta Rhymes, they have like these huge people, and I think they're the better of the borough, battle of the borough.
Yeah. Why do you think that is though? You think Queens is too soft?
Yo, watch your mouth, dude. Watch your mouth. Nah, Queens isn't soft. It's just Biggie and Jay-Z, man. That's all I can say. Like, they're the biggest hip-hop artists of all time. They have a bunch of other people, too, but yeah, I don't know. I love Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The artists from Brooklyn. Mos Def's from Brooklyn, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I would say it's something like, you know, it's just it's like the people that are like Jay-Z and Notorious B.I.G. I think if they were in any area, they would just make that area big,
probably,
right? But
definitely Queens definitely has like the most famous amount of rappers coming out of there. It's different today. Everyone's from Atlanta,
Mm.
so yeah, it changes over time where people are coming from. But yeah, the hip hop scene was huge in up north and in the tri-state, and then it gravitated towards the south.
What do you think about Atlanta rappers?
Some of them are cool. I really like the old school guys like Outkast, and
Outkast is amazing.
yeah, they're amazing. A couple of yeah, I like some of them. Some of them are cool. Some of them I just can't like. I just can't stand them. And it's not even because of the music. I just like Young Thug's from Atlanta. Like some of his music's cool, but as a person, I just look at him like the tattoos on the face, all that stuff. It just bothers me, man.
Yeah. Young Thug was like the new Lil Wayne when he started.
Yeah, he
coming
took his
up.
whole style almost,
Yeah.
except he's worse. Like lyrically, like he can make a great sound. Like his sound, like that's what it's all about today.
That's
really
right.
is the
That's
sound,
right.
how it sounds like sonically, and and it's more like art. Honestly, today it's more like art, like a picture, like a painting.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're like back in the day, it was more like different art. It was poetry. So today is more of like, oh, I gotta paint a picture with my sound rather than my words.
Mm.
You get me? So
Do you think
yeah,
it's
a
because
lot different.
we're becoming dumber? You think that's what it is?
Yeah, probably. It's crazy. We have smartphones and we're becoming dumber. But that's why though. People don't read anymore. I never read, so I don't give a crap. Can I curse?
Yeah, you could curse.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
fine.
give a shit. I never read, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people. But that's not my job. I wasn't put on this world to read. There's other people that are supposed to read.
Bro, I have a hard time reading, man. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Like, I love reading. I mean, like, I've read a lot, but now it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe dyslexia or something where
Me, it's my ADD. I've always had ADD.
I
since
think that's
I was
what it is.
younger.
My ADD.
Are you
like,
sure you have it? Because I was diagnosed with it. I
I d-
definitely have it.
Bro, I cannot fucking like. I'll get a headache.
Yeah.
I'll get a really bad headache. I'll get anxiety seeing all these letters and
wow,
words. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know why I developed that. I guess because I used to study a lot when I was in school,
Yeah.
and I got sick from it. So then I stopped.
It's the
doing it.
opposite with me. I just never could stand it. Like I dropped out of high school, and I got my GED, and then I went to college, and I
Mhm.
dropped out of college. So I'm the college high school dropout, and I just because I can't focus. I have a terrible like attention span, like almost of a squirrel. Like I don't have ADHD, which is like what people confuse it with, where they're like so
hyper.
jittery. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where the H comes in,
Mhm.
hyper. I'm more of just like I just can't focus. Like I'll lose interest in something so easily, especially something that I don't like reading. I don't like
Yeah.
reading.
That could be like an artist mindset. That's what probably it is.
Maybe I
You
just
know?
hopes it gets me somewhere. Otherwise, it can leave me homeless.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
you seem
You
to
just
have,
gotta use it. You gotta use it
Yeah.
the right way.
you got to use it. And you got to keep going towards it. Because one of my mentors, he told me that there is no one out there who's successful that says I kind of like, yeah, I went like for it. And I just tried it out and it worked out. No, they didn't just try it out. They didn't have a plan B. It was their plan A. They didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
So it was their plan A. They didn't try it. They went 100%.
Mhm.
So it's like this whole like, oh, just always have a plan B. If you have a plan B, that means you're thinking about something else. You're not thinking about the main goal.
Exactly.
And I think that's what it is. So there has to be someone, since it's not easy, right? In the route of music and whatnot. Who's like the special person in your life that you feel really helps you get through all this and is always by your side?
Definitely my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I've been with her for almost 4 years. In a couple weeks we'll be together for 4 years now, and she helps me out. She's like one of the biggest inspirations I had. She motivated me to start doing the music because I always loved music, and I was always I think I was talented. I was always talented. I can sing, I could rap since I was younger, but I wasn't doing anything with it. And younger, like, when I was with my mother, there's only so much that she can do, like as far as putting me into programs. I was never in a music program, and my mom knew I loved to do music and sing and do all this stuff, but there's only so much you can do when you're getting raised by a single parent. It's just you two, But when I got older, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna give myself. I have to give myself realistically. I have to give myself a cutoff point, and to. I'm always gonna try. I'm always gonna love music, and I'm always gonna make music. But as far as full sending 100%, I gave myself a cutoff time.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean.
Don't do that. That's one of the worst things you could do, man.
Yeah.
Because from my experience, giving yourself a cutoff is not going to help you.
Yeah,
it's gonna
exactly.
it's gonna be a detriment to
And
you.
it took you a while too to get up
because it
off
takes
the-
a while, man, and you
Yeah.
have to be patient. You have to keep going. Because look, I was like, by 25, I'll be married and have kids, and I'll be rich. 25 came and gone, and you know it didn't.
Yeah, I'm 25 right now.
Yeah, and then I got depressed, you know, and that's why they tell you don't make cutoff points, because it's gonna you're setting yourself up to fail. So what you do is that you don't think about the cutoff point, you just think about the goal. I have to reach this goal, and I'm gonna set up these little tiny goals to get to that point. So every day you feel like you're achieving something and you're getting a step closer, right? So you don't have to think about the age or the time frame or whatever. You just think about the goal. So that's a tip I can give you if you really
Yeah,
wanna
definitely.
take it,
That
yeah.
definitely helps. I never even thought of that. That's great advice.
Yeah, it's because I went through it too, man.
Yeah.
So now there is like this whole thing that I wanted to bring up. Do you think it's gonna be like people are gonna bring it up, that the fact that you're Arabian, Spanish? Do you think it's gonna be harder for you, like trying to be a rapper?
I think about that all the time. I try not to think about it, but I do think about it as far as, will it hold me back or will it bring me even further? Will it help me out? It's like honestly, I think about it, but I don't think too much about it because I don't want that to hold me back. Because I feel like as a Muslim, it's a very strict religion. And a lot of people, as a Muslim, right? Like, let's say if you're black, if you're Spanish, most of your fan base will probably be where you're from, because that's or depending on what the music you make, there'll be people who relate to you, because people like to relate to the people that they like. Especially when you're starting up, because you need that support from your people. That's I hope that they'll uplift me. Like with you, I know it helped you a lot towards the beginning, and then now it's like you're kind of getting a little like,
Yeah, it's like
people are starting, but basically
Backfire.
if you're gonna, when you make it there, it's gonna happen. You just gotta be prepared for it.
Yeah, it happens with anyone.
For as far as starting out, I don't think it'll hold me back at all.
Okay.
I'm not the Spanish side, because Latinos don't really care like
Yeah.
too much. Oh, like, okay, he's gonna do music, well, we're gonna support him. But Islam is a lot more strict. Thank God I'm not from a country where they are super strict. Like, I'm from Algeria, so that's like I'm pretty sure they're under Sharia law, but it's not, like Egypt is pretty strict.
I don't think so. I mean, it's gotten a little like it's so
Yeah.
hard to say, man, because we're so secular, and we don't really like there's kind of well, I wouldn't say it's like religion doesn't really play much now in the art side of things, because they're starting to understand it, because there's a separation of the state and religion there, but it's not to the extent like America, but they're trying to be westernized, and I've seen that it's a little more freeing, but the industry, the media, they're a little more free when it comes to art and entertainment, but the people themselves are the ones who are strict, and they're always
Yeah.
calling it to be more strict. And this is something I used to always say about Egypt. Bro, if you watch the old movies and the old music from back in the day in Egypt, they were wearing button-up ties and bow ties and dressed very nicely, suits and gowns, and
Yeah.
their hair is done.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that's Egypt? No way. That's like Hollywood, like in the 50s or 60s. It's like Hollywood today.
Yeah, plus Egypt is one of the most like more famous Arab countries just because of their history and
Yeah.
ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So people kind of know that first.
But then you go now and you see them now, it's like everyone's covered up and they don't do
So it's
music.
kind of going reverse.
It's going backwards.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's going reverse, and that's the thing that people are saying. Like, it's like I used to say this before. I feel like people are taking it to the extreme where it's not supposed to be, and they're overcompensating. The cool thing about Egypt, though, is that it was one of the pioneers for music and movies. Like, people would travel from other countries
Yeah.
like Morocco to Egypt to become famous, because music there was belly dancing originated from Egypt and all that stuff. But now I feel like it's just going backwards. So that's why it's like I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah, we got to be grateful too because
Yeah.
there's a lot more stricter Arabic countries like Iraq.
Yeah.
Iraq is crazy. Like they have, like I was telling my sister before, how there's this documentary on Netflix. It's called or not a documentary. It's a series. It's called Comedy in Dangerous Places. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, you should watch it. And or I think it's called that. But anyways, they go around the world seeing the director from Borat. I don't remember his name, but they go around the world to like these different countries, like West Africa or like Islamic parts of the world. And this one guy was from Iraq, and in like 2002, it was during the war. It was right after 9/11. He was listening to Backstreet Boys. He's actually the guy. This guy is he's what Jon Stewart was for America. Like it was like a Daily Show, like their own version of the Daily Show.
Oh, okay.
So that's who this guy is, and he got interviewed. And in 2002 or 2003, he was listening to the Backstreet Boys, and it was in the middle of the war. Bombs going off everywhere, and his father found out and he kicked him out of the house just for listening to Backstreet Boys.
What?
Yeah, he just for
Wow.
listening to Backstreet Boys in the middle of the war. Bombs going off, and his father kicked him out of the house. And then a couple of other crazy things happened, like with the Iraqi soldiers or thugs, whatever, I don't even know. They picked him up and they like threatened to kill him and all that. Not because of the Backstreet Boys, but that's just how the country is.
Because he was listening to music, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And you know, and Backstreet Boys they're not like, there's a lot worse stuff than Backstreet Boys.
I'm telling you, man. Nobody like we're
grateful.
This country.
We have to be we have to be grateful and
course.
count our blessings.
And
there's
it's-
crazy places.
To be in this country is amazing, man. This is
Yeah.
why I love this country
We
so much.
we
and
got
support
lucky. Our
it,
parents
yeah.
hooked us up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. They
I
went
think
through a
about it all
lot.
the time,
Yeah,
yeah.
they went through a lot to come here, and I'm very thankful that our parents did that, because look at it now, man. It's like it's so sad. I remember the Middle East used to be like the pioneer, the pushers of art and artistry and everything, but now it's just they're all gone. It's like
Mhm.
all these Arab
Yeah, like
countries are gone.
I was watching one of your videos, the one I texted you about.
Yeah.
And when you said like how, you know, in the Arab world, the Egyptians, like we created math, like parts of science. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, that's so true.
Yeah.
And now it's just like there's people are so worried about religion
Yeah.
and all this and the strictness and who's doing what wrong, who's doing what right, that we can't even progress.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's like we're not progressing anymore. You know, like our religion was made for, like was helping people. You know, just not even our religions, just our people back then were
Mhm.
helping each other progress.
Everybody around the world.
Yeah, and now it's like everybody's like, oh no, I'm offended with that. No, let's not do that. People are not gonna
Mhm.
like that. No, let's stop this.
You
Let's
gotta
stop
push.
this.
You gotta push the envelope if you want great things to happen.
Yeah.
Even in America, everyone here is super PC, and
Yeah,
you know,
man.
we gotta try things out.
we're in a different
Yeah.
different world,
Especially
man.
New York.
Yeah.
New York is PC capital. You gotta watch what you say over here.
You gotta watch everything you do, man. Like I don't know. What do you think about the whole like the gender fluid and all that stuff? I mean, you don't have to go into it if you don't want to. If you're not
I
comfortable.
mean,
talking
if
about
you're,
that.
it's very simple. You're born the way you are. That's it.
I do. I feel the same way about that. But there's one thing I just find it weird. It's like people are going to different extremities. I feel like okay, there's different genders. Maybe more than two.
Yeah, but you're not gonna
But
say
I don't think-
I'm a fucking toaster. That's a
Yeah.
mental disability.
Yeah,
if you're
I
gonna
don't-
say something like that.
Yeah, like there's I don't think there's like thousands of them, because then if that's the case, then there's a problem, because we have to put a limit, because I feel like we're spoiled, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Go to another country, like third world, not even third world, just go to another country. Second world.
You're a boy or girl. That's it.
Yeah. So
There's
what
nothing
like
else to
what
it.
are they like worried about? They're worried about other things, you
Mhm.
know, like they're not worried about like, you know, it's weird. I don't know.
Everybody today wants to feel important. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So they'll use their, like, okay, yes, a gay person or a transgender person they're oppressed in this country because, you know, we're still even a little behind as far as, because we're ignorant. The whole
Yeah.
world is ignorant.
Yeah, that's true.
We refuse to understand that, you know, people are born a certain way. But then there's you know, then there's people who are, you know, like, yes, the word needs to get out about transgender people
Yeah.
and, you know, the whole LGBT community. That word needs to get out. It needs to be heard around the world, and people need to realize that these people are born the way they are. It's not a choice, you know. But then there are some people who are taking advantage of it, and they try to make themselves
Exactly.
feel important.
Exactly.
Like, oh, look at me, I'm being oppressed. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
you're not doing. No one feels bad for you. You have to, if you really want to make a difference, go out there. You know, go to the protests. Do, you know, start a community, join a community.
Yeah. Like Superman.
Don't go. Yeah, don't go on. You know, on YouTube. Feel like you need to make a YouTube channel and make a bunch of videos of you complaining. So, oh, I'm so oppressed. Like,
Yeah. and
black
it's-
people were oppressed for the longest time. And what did they do? They went out and they fought. They weren't complaining, like, oh, you know, like, I'm just gonna cry. I'm gonna sit here and do nothing. This is just how people, you know,
Yeah.
are oppressing me.
No,
No,
they-
you gotta go out there and do something.
They definitely did something, and they went all in, and like they did a great job. And I'm gonna close it off that topic with this. You know, just because we're talking about it doesn't mean we don't believe in the LGBT community. Plus, you know, like we believe in, and honestly, I understand them.
Yeah,
And
because me
everybody-
and you too are ignorant to a certain point.
Of course, of
So we're
course.
still learning.
But I feel like there's something that is important that people need to know. All right, you know, for many years, you know, transgendered people were fighting to be a man or a woman,
Mhm.
right? But now, what's going on, like the whole meaning of being a man and a woman is gone. So you're telling me that the person who went through surgery and hormones to become a man or woman is now not important because there's some new thing that's out there that they didn't associate with, that they didn't know about. Like there's transgender people who are like, we don't agree with that. It's like they're going far. Like like I said, Superman. Like all of a sudden, because he dresses like a woman, he is now a woman, or because he has surgery. Like I don't know what's up with him. Like the guy in GameStop when he went crazy. You saw the video, right?
Oh, him?
Superman, right? Like yeah, like it's ma'am. You
That's
know,
the Superman guy?
Superman, yeah.
Oh, Superman. I
Yeah.
thought you said Superman. I'm like, what?
No, I said
When did
Superman.
Superman become transgender? I didn't know that.
No,
Super
they-
trans?
they
Super
call it-
trans?
No, they call it Superman.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So like see, it brought up a really big discussion. All right. I don't know what the guy's going through, and I understand there's like something that he might be going through. But let's be real here, okay? Like I said, it takes so much to be a woman. Transgenders go through so much to be a woman.
Mhm.
How is someone like that who doesn't even try to show any female attributes
Yeah,
in any way
Just aggression.
just be considered a woman just because he wants to be considered a woman? It doesn't work like that, man. I that's how I truly be. I mean, you know, this is just my opinion, guys. I just feel like if someone is gonna go to that extent and be like, I'm a woman, well then go through what women go through. It takes a lot. It's not easy to be a woman. You can't just say I'm a woman and you're a woman. All right. So it's like, because, you know, like I said, in transgender, they have to go through surgery. They have to do this. They have to do that. And they have to go through the ridicule of being a woman. And so people could call them a woman without them having to say it. Right. So
Yeah.
that's my
But
thought
then
on that.
there's so much that you can only question and ask because we don't have their mindset. We don't know how they think, you know?
And that's true. But at the same time, it's like, we can't let them, if we don't know how do they think, it's like we have to understand them and they have to help us understand them, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah,
You
exactly.
can't just keep letting
100%.
we don't understand them, so let them do what they're doing. I'm pretty sure it's good. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's okay.
You can't use aggression. You have to try to explain yourself.
Exactly.
Like,
And that's what I'm against. He used aggression against that guy just because he
it's just
misgendered.
nicely. Yeah, you can't do it. You have to go around do the nice way. Explain it. Some people get tired of it, but it's what you got to do if you want to really push the agenda.
Mhm.
You know.
So with your music, what kind of audience are you trying to reach?
It's a funny
Yeah.
transition.
Yeah. The audience that you want to reach.
The transgender audience. Anybody. Anybody and everybody. You know. Well, that like hip hop, even people who don't love hip hop or love R&B, just there's no specific. I'm not targeting an audience, but you know, if you're getting your start, you want to be local first. That's the big thing. So
Yeah.
right now, I want to appeal to everybody around me.
Okay.
Because if this is what I figured out and how it usually goes in most cases, you get your start locally. Um, you get your start locally, you get your little buzz around here. So if in that way, yeah, I want to appeal to people in my area,
Mm-hmm.
because once they start messing with you, then people on a broader scale will start messing with you from Jersey, and then Jersey will leak out to more down south, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
All right.
You always got to start with
That sounds good.
where you're from.
You got it. You got it together. Okay. Final question. Who, if you ever had the chance to work with someone, who would you want to work with?
It's a good one. I really like Frank Ocean. I would love to work with Frank Ocean. He might not be number one, but he's definitely one of the people I would love to work with.
Mm-hmm. You sure it's not Young Thug?
But yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not Young Thug. It's not Superman either.
Superman actually raps now. She had a music video. come out.
No,
I
stop.
swear.
Was it a parody or is it a real
Yeah,
video?
she actually made a music video.
I gotta watch that. I'll watch
Yeah.
that after that.
Yeah, it's. I don't know.
That's funny.
You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah,
I
I'll
wish we
see it,
could
I'll
watch
see
it here so I could get your reaction, but sadly I don't have my laptop today. But
Next
so next time definitely, and then finally I want to know this. What is it that you can give as advice for people who are going through like something that you felt that you like you had some adversity but you finally got through it? What is it that you got through and how did you get through it? So in case someone is watching, you could give them some advice.
Well, you first of all you gotta count your blessings and what you have and work with what you have. As far as wanting to make it and not trying to have things put you down, you just gotta push through it. And if you really love something, you gotta go out and get it. That's how I see it. That's all I can say from right now. But yeah, if you love something, just go out and get it. You gotta steal it.
All right, and finally, give us a little something, a little rap, a little singing. Just show them what you can do. I'm pretty sure you could do it
All
without
right, give me a little beatbox. Go boom, boom.
I suck at that. Can you do that? Can you do a beatbox? I suck at beatboxing.
All right, I'll do.
People are gonna laugh at me. I'm such like.
I'll do a little acapella.
Yeah, give us an acapella.
Yo, who won war with Thor? Tell me, let's get it poppin'. I keep the speakers rockin', killing it from Queens to Compton. I'm stomping whack dudes with tattoos up on their face. Won't leave a trace, I'm Jack the Ripper. Kill you, then I do the race. Shout out to TK, fresh off of vacay with my Dominican thing. She throw it back on the king. I'm large in the charge, future superstar with all types of bars. Call me Willy Wonka, going bonkers in my Nike chanclas. Chica Blanca, she want this Latin lover. Probably heard I got that lethal weapon like I'm Danny Glover. I'm undercover, scoping out the competition. You just a slave to a page in my composition. I made you look the first and the last time. I have you shook from the first to the last line. I'm so deaf I have you throwing up some hand signs. And too explosive would have thought I was a landmine. About damn time I get some recognition. Now who's the best to listen to? This is the Institute for Higher Learning. Look close, you see the fire burning. Trying to make this cheese so I can sit back and retire early.
Woo! My God. That was
Thank you,
that was
thank you,
great.
thank you,
Look,
thank
you
you.
got the whole audience here like clapping, bro. I'm telling you guys right now, this guy is gonna save hip hop. In my opinion, I don't care what anyone says. He's
The
gonna save hip hop.
diversity,
I don't care what
diversity,
anyone
everything.
says. He's
Thank
gonna
you,
save
man.
hip hop, and I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud of him, because he has a lot of culture within him that he's bringing with him. So please let the people know how they could follow you and stay tuned with everything that you're doing.
You could follow me on Instagram, Bilal NYC, Bilal NYC. You could look me up on SoundCloud, very easy, soundcloud.com/Bilal, Bilal. Apple Music, Spotify, anything. Just search up Bilal V. That's it.
All right, man. We're gonna have you on here again, man. And thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
thank
coming.
you.
Thanks, Habibi.
No problem, no
Yeah,
problem.
man. Keep it up, man. Don't give up.
Definitely.